with Declan Rice starting off West Ham's goals this afternoon and Manuel Lanzini ending them, giving West Ham those valuable 3 points, I suppose, to get us to the 40-point mark, and really put a dampener on Leeds to head into the final day. Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. Hope you are all well. West Ham 3, Leeds 1, pretty simple in the end. Another 3 points on the board. Kieran, we spoke pre-match. We weren't quite sure what was going to happen today, and pretty simple in the end.
Yeah, it was a bit of a test in the first half, and they come out firing a little bit. I think they lost a bit when they lost Bamford. Yeah. You know, he was holding the play up. He was trying to get round the back. He was doing all right, and then he came off injured, which he has been most of the bloody season, and they seemed to lose their way a bit. And in the second half, I was surprised for a team that's battling to, stay alive. They showed nothing that second half. Absolutely nothing. I didn't feel threatened at all. We didn't have to do much to be safe. Really, it was. There was no pressure put on. No pressure put under our goalkeeper, back forward. It was pretty simple.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was quite baffled with the lack of fight and desire that Leeds showed, and it just sort of didn't make too much sense to me that they were fighting, and that's probably them down now. They've got to rely on others on the final day and beat Spurs, but it was just strange from them. There wasn't really no fight there. They got the first goal, and then they sort of just didn't show anything apart from that. And Big Sam didn't have any answers. No.
I was very surprised because they did show that fight against Newcastle. And this was more crucial now after the results that came about this weekend. I thought they would have shown a lot more fight than that in the second half, but I didn't see any. I thought they were pretty passive, and so it was pretty. That was the easiest second half we've had all season.
No, it was just a stroll, wasn't it? And it was not going to be anybody else, was it? Declan Rice opened scoring for West Ham to equalise, to level things up. Just see him celebrating there. I was on the brink of being quite emotional. It was a touching moment. He did his knee slide and just looked into the crowd and then just went, "Oh dear," that was like the just perfect goodbye, I think.
Yeah. I think at the very end he wanted to give him the ultimate goodbye, didn't he, Paqueta, instead of banging it in himself. I said, Paqueta, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just bang it in, mate. But yeah, he tried to set him up again, I think, for that reason. Yeah. But not to be. No. But yeah, it was fairly straightforward and quite convincing, I think. But yeah, I was disappointed in Leeds. Didn't show enough for me. And if you don't show enough, you need 3 points, and you don't show that fight. Well, you're bound to get one. I don't
think they really deserve to stay up after that second half performance. And I'd be fuming if I was walking out of that stadium today as a Leeds fan after watching that second half display. I'd be absolutely livid. In terms of the other goals for West Ham, as soon as that Bone goal went in, I said offside, but I was proven wrong. He was just about onside. I think it was very level indeed. But the goal was given, and it was a good sort of punt from Bowen to get it in, and that really sort of knocked the wind or knocked the confidence, whether there was any there at all, from Leeds today. That was sort of it, getting that second goal. And then the third goal, just finishing us off and outfitting as well with a player that's probably not going to be here next season, a player that's been a very good servant to the club as well, Manuel Lanzini. All round a pretty perfect day.
It was really, and like you say, the two players we expect to lose in summer both got a goal. And I was waiting for Lanzini to come on just for that reason, the fact that it could be the last time we see him, for all we know. We presume it is. And I was just there to bang one in as well. Some brilliant work by Paqueta, down that line. That was class, man. Absolute class. To set Lanzini up, that was really, really good. It just showed what quality that was.
Though, as well, just to jump in, the thing with Paqueta is at times today was a little bit frustrating because things weren't quite going off for him. But the things that did go off, you can see in the last couple of months, he's really come into his own. And, fingers crossed we can hold on to him in the summer, which I expect us to. he's going to be a force in the Premier League next season, because I thought, he's showing those signs of why we scattered him and why we paid that money for him.
Yeah, you can see it now. And Jake, it's not just about his brilliance in going forward. He can be frustrating at times. He's been really frustrating all season, to be honest. But he's that type of player that certain things don't come off. So he does things that just make him look silly at times. And he has been wasteful a lot of times with his passing. And people would like to say, people ain't on his same wavelength. And that can be true to a point. But there's a lot of times it's not that. It's just bad passing. But he got better and better and better. And some of the way he takes people on. And his defensive work is unbelievable. The tackles he puts in, it was, like you see him at, the midweek game in Europe, right? When he jumped over that fence, he wanted to have a go at everyone, right? He's like that on the pitch, isn't he?
Yeah.
When he sees that ball, wants to defend it. He's got that same attitude. I don't think he even had any family up in that stand. It didn't bother him. He was in there, right? And he's like that on the pitch.
I think he's adapted really, really well to the Premier League, and hopefully, starting fresh for stats next season, the stats will show that as well. Sharky, hope you are well. Come on, you INSD. Great
2 seconds,
game to watch today. No worries. Great game to watch today. It certainly was a good win indeed. Rice could have had a hat trick today. He could have done that shot from outside the box that he hit miles over the bar. That'll be the astronaut on West Ham clip in a couple of days' time. And you had obviously the goal, the one right at the end as well. And I was like, if only that would have gone in, that would have been absolutely brilliant. But today, I thought we controlled it for one of the very few times, on one of the very few occasions this season we controlled possession against the Sam Allardyce side. That's not really a surprise, but we controlled possession. And since we got pretty much the first and then definitely the second goal in the second half, we never really looked under threat, did we, Kieran?
No, they had that one opportunity. And it's amazing they had that one opportunity, went over the top there. I think it was at Summerfield.
Yeah.
Got through there, and it was Paquetá that actually got the block in.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been Kera, but no, it was Paquetá right at the end there. They could have scored from that. They didn't. That's about it.
They were just a shambles. They had about 2 or 3 occasions I can sort of recollect where I went flipping out. How haven't they scored there? They were a shambles, Leeds, and coming off of that display, and they probably do deserve to go.
Yeah, if it displays like that, you'd say so, yeah. Because we should have had 5 there tonight.
Yeah,
easily. And I don't think we were actually going that hard. I don't believe it.
Here, did we?
It just looks, like cruisy. It looked cruisy. You see, I mean, what's right? He's doing them step overs that Paquetá does now. He's doing them. Paquetá done 2 on the trot. They're just, they seem to be enjoying themselves out there. And then just breaking here and there. And when you're talking about using Ings in the, in a position that he's not used to, it's suited to. And he was coming deeper and picking the ball up. And there were times we didn't have anyone in the middle because Ings was coming out of there middle. But it seemed very straightforward to me. It was very simple.
It was, yeah. Sharky raises a good point here. He says we started badly, Leeds were all over us. For the first sort of 20 minutes, we seemed to still be in Amsterdam, and then then they scored, and we sort of had the wake-up call. When Leeds didn't push on to maybe get another or maybe put the game to bed, they sort of just didn't really capitalise on us being quite poor early on. And then we came into the game the further it went on, and then began to dominate it, and then got a couple of goals to show for it as well. And then the one at the end just to put the icing on the cake. Paquetá looked class today. I thought Fornals was excellent, a confidence player. I thought Fornals was very, very good today. There's a good few players that we can pick out, and we're beginning to do this over the last few weeks, picking out more players who we can pinpoint and say they had a brilliant game today. We haven't been able to do that, often enough this season. Players are starting to get the confidence back, and yes, it's the end of the season. Yes, this game means absolutely nothing to us, but it's a good confidence boost. It keeps it going. It would have put a bit of a dampener, off of the trivialities of the fantastic sort of night on Thursday. But we got the win, and then we just seen the lap of honour come round as well. and the players look in good spirits, and we'll stay tuned to see whether Rice does anything. But overall, couldn't have really asked for a much better afternoon, Kieran.
No, mate. That was a jolly day out, wasn't it? It was. There's too many times this season, the criticisms that come against West Ham and Moyes, because not only Moyes' tactics haven't really worked at times, but there's been 4 or 5 players off the pace and under par. Yeah. And recently, it's hard to name that many. There's been 1, there might be 2 that are not quite at it. And but today, I can't knock anyone on that pitch.
No,
everyone seemed to have a reasonably decent game without being too outstanding. In fact, Paqueta was outstanding here and there. Rice was good here and there, but there was no one really under par. Even Soufal coming back from the layoff he's had, he was battling away and getting into it. Souček done his usual. He had to spill a bit of blood, break his nose by the looks of it. It looked like it was broken when he walked over to the sideline there. It didn't look too good. But that's what Souček does, doesn't he? He puts his head in where it hurts and carries on.
Yeah.
So, it was a really good day at the office, I think, for the boys, and especially for the last home game of the season. It's a nice way to bow out, and it keeps the confidence high. You off there, Jake? So, I really enjoyed it. Nice to have a stress-free game. There's not many. And we're taking a break. Jake's legged it. He's legged it.
I've got no idea what's happened there.
It's all right, mate. I swore like a trooper while you were off. There you go.
My computer just completely froze. Right. Let me restart that. Right. Everything's going wrong, but we'll take some comments to and see what we're going. Poetic to see Rice and Lanzini both get a goal potentially in their final home game in Claret and Blue. Definitely,
Yeah.
If we were to write a script, it would have had that on it. Lanzini would come off 10 minutes at the end, score as well. To Rice to open a scoring for West Ham, it was just perfect. Just absolutely brilliant. And if that is the send off that Rice will get with the at London Stadium, then I think we've done it right. And I think that's I think that's good for him for sure.
Yeah, I was quite, for that reason. I was quite disappointed that Lanzini didn't start.
Yeah,
but at least he got on. I was just a bit. The only criticism I have of Moyes for this, right? I don't want to criticise him. But I would have brought Mubama on maybe with 10 minutes to go,
Yeah.
And gave him a little run out.
Time,
give him 10 minutes and take Ings off. I thought that would have been more sensible, rather than just 2 or 3 minutes, into injury time. But he didn't, What can I say? We got the win. He didn't do much wrong today, Moyes. But I would love to have seen him on a bit earlier. That's just a personal view. But it was
on my laptop now, so I'm going to do a really quick, swift change again. Ready? You have two of me, and then I'm going to get rid of that one. And I'm going to come into there, and there we go. See, what about that?
Sweet, mate. You're professional.
You can tell the budget we run off of here is not very much. Final thought. One thing we haven't discussed is Zuma as well, who went off at half time. He always looks injured, but let's hope that's nothing too serious.
Yeah, I'm amazed he started him,
Yeah, I know.
Really amazed he started him, but he got caught with the ball again right near the end of the first half as well, didn't he? And they butchered that chance as well. That was a chance for them, and they butchered it. But maybe it's that. Maybe he's carrying a bit. He just looks so. When he gets the ball to his feet, he looks so unsteady on his feet. He's, even to him to pass the ball left or right, he just has to really think about it, and he just looks edgy, Zuma.
Yeah. So maybe it was more tactical, and of course I forgot that mistake he had that Leeds should have capitalised on. Again, another one of their awful moments in front of goal. Maybe it was just resting. I'm not sure, but it worried me
And,
slightly.
what I say, and Kera came on, didn't miss a heartbeat, did he? Again, you know, I'm so glad he went through such a bad period there, didn't he, Kera? We thought we'd bought the worst player in the world, and I think in the last month he's sort of proved that he is a player and he can play, and he could be important to us next season.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Right then, the players are doing their lap of honour round. So I'm just seeing a bit of that come through on Twitter now, so that's good. Hopefully, well, they should all be in high spirits and yeah, it's all very good. Well, then, Kieran, give us some final thoughts before we go.
Final thoughts. I think we're going to go to Leicester and smash them as well. I don't see a problem there, mate. And then it's all about the final, isn't it? It's just lovely to. Even looking at them players tonight, there's like, you know, the world was off their shoulders. They played like you know, it didn't matter. There was no pressure, and they played them off the park in that second half, to be honest. And it showed. And I think they'll do the same at Leicester. I think they'll go to Leicester, and I think they'll have another win. And then it's on to the final. Then we have a real test, and hopefully we come through it.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Yes. As well, cannot come off of my face as we build up a couple of warm-up games ahead of our final over in Prague against Fiorentina. Thanks everybody for watching. A 3-1 win, comfortable in the end for the Hammers as we look to send Leeds packing down to the Championship. And well, will we do the same for a Leicester side next Sunday? We will see next week. But yeah, that's it from us until then. Kieran, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
You're welcome, mate, and anytime.
From us.
Enjoy.
Come on, your
all the best, boys. Go on, your irons.
Oh, West. Go on, your irons. Bye-bye.